That's something that is totally normal in movies, but never happens in real life. Not making mistakes when talking. Actually being able to have a conversation at a bar while music is playing. Ask your friends to meet you at a predetermined time and place with no explanation as to why. I have a hard time getting friends to meet up for legitimate reasons with advanced notice. Meanwhile, movie characters come together in an abandoned warehouse in Brazil like. All walk in at the same time. Why do you call? Police take a DNA sample and have the results in an hour. Wherever the detective has to go, he always finds a parking spot right in front of the place, downtown Manhattan included. Using guns in small rooms with no ear protection, without being affected by the very loud bang that would probably damage your hearing. Hacking is typing really fast. Easily avoidable issues if the person just explains what is happening. People in their 20s having large lavish apartments. People recovering very quickly from injuries, especially head injuries. Teenagers being built like fucking tanks. Guy walks in holding a 30-page document, gives to some other dude. The dude who's getting the document glances at the first page for a nanosecond and immediately knows everything there is to know about this case. Cars exploding on impact. School in movies just consumes about 10% of the day. Most knockout drugs don't work very fast. Chloroform is always depicted to be some instant knockout drug when in reality it takes several minutes of constant exposure to knock someone unconscious. I'd guess a bad guy standing there for 7 minutes waiting for the hero to pass out would probably make for a boring movie. I don't have time to explain, we need to go. People surviving wounds / injuries that should be fatal. You cough, you die. All channels always having either news or old movies. Working as a waitress and living in a huge apartment, with the fridge full, and expensive clothes. Not sneezing or coughing. A crash or chase happens with shooting and stuff and every other car continues to drive as if nothing is going on around them. People slam on the brakes in real life cause a cop is going the opposite direction on the highway. Yet you watch a Marvel movie and a dude tailgating a van. CPT America and Ultron are actively fighting on. Edit. Fixing errors. Unlimited bullets and a Kiriki 100% for shooting normal bad guys. Someone goes up to a bar and asks for alcohol or beer and the bartender gives it to them without asking the brand or type. Enhancing a shitty quality image to 4K and zooming into the size of a microbe with perfect clarity. Taking one bite and you are done. Haha. People waking up with perfect makeup. My wife points this out in everything we watch. Always having your hair look nice. Bombs with a special display that counts down to 0. Serial killers just standing there staring at you and giving you enough time to escape. The pushy dude in the rom-com ends up getting the girl, whereas in real life they'd be more likely to end up with a restraining order. People not screaming in absolute agony when shot or stabbed in the gut. Reservoir Dogs is one movie that did it realistically. Walking home from the grocery store carrying a single paper bag with an unwrapped loaf of French bread sticking out the top. In action movies where the main character kills like 100 bad guys. In horror movies I always enjoy how fast and deep a perfectly symmetrical grave gets dug. Sex happening in seconds fully clothed with zero foreplay. It's as if the guy just falls into her sticking his thing through his zipper. Immediate penetration. Mom makes a huge breakfast and lays it all out. Kids and husband grab a bagel on the way out the door, ignoring all the food. Not saying bye before hanging up. Being able to outrun an explosion. Having 1 or 2 drags of a cigarette and throwing it away, You know how expensive those fucking things are. It always bugged me when on a show kids would be getting ready for school and it'd be sunny out. Maybe I just had an early start time, but it was always still dark out when I was up and getting ready for school. Women orgasmed within seconds. Edit wow, thanks for the awards. Nobody ever has to use the toilet. People in movies working with computers absolutely never use spacebar, backspace and mouse. They just mash on the keyboard and somehow it all magically makes sense. Also, hacking / programming. There was a movie on last week where a guy pulled up CMD, typed in ipconfig, and dramatically declared, "I hacked FB." It was a perfectly serious scene, and I spent 5 minutes laughing hysterically before changing the channel. Meeting new friends the minute you move to a new town. Scientists in any field are experts in every other field of science as well, e.g. the physicist in annihilation concluding the tree formations are due to homeotic mutations. Things going according to plan. Background music. Life would be so much better with background music. Silencers make a PFFFFT sound. Silencers are still pretty loud. If you shoot one it won't go unnoticed. Guys kiss girls to shut them up. How normalized stalking is. You dropped this, so I followed you for 3 hours to give it back. Minus greater than kiss and hug. Now web dating. In reality, it's mace and call the cops for stalking. Every computer in a movie or show constantly chirps /beeps / speaks when used. That would be really damn annoying in real life. Answering your phone when you don't recognize the number. An interested woman has a sudden change of heart for the loser guy and they live happily ever after. Suddenly singing and with matching choreography. Women in war zones and other long-term disaster situations with filthy matted hair and tattered grimy clothes always seem to find the time to have perfectly groomed eyebrows and put on a little makeup. Everyone's house is neat and tidy. Hackers. Perfect code. First try. No issues ever. If your code runs correctly first try, you're confused and scared. Women covering their boobs with a blanket after sex. Also under the covers sex, especially in summer. No one ever says bye on the phone. All carried luggage is light off, no one needs a haircut. Ever. Those 1 in a million chances where someone survives for plot or a side character dies for plot. Women sleeping with full face makeup and perfect hair. People not talking over each other during a conversation. Everyone is always waiting for the other to finish their thought when in reality people are impatient and interrupt constantly. My dad's complaint about TV and movies. In a boxing movie, the hero always wins by dramatic KO in the later rounds, having lost every round up until that point and taking a severe beating. In reality, the fight would have been stopped in his opponent's favor several rounds previously. Turning on the TV to exactly the right thing. Arrested Development did a great bit. https://youtube.b/kjibin phone rate, making fun of this trope. When they throw a cigarette on petrol, gas, and it lights up, that actually doesn't happen in real life. The cigarette isn't hot enough for it to cause this. People who wake up and start making out. We all know you have dog shit breath first thing in the morning. That teens have these highly sexual drug-fueled lives. Like weed, yeah maybe, but just a little exaggerated. Unless they are written to be stupid / comic relief, people in movies talk with zero filler words. In real life very few people are able to do that. A small misunderstanding, not resolved by explaining, goes on to create an entire chain of wacky hygienics, usually initiated by, wait, I can explain. Subtitles. when the girl is walking on the street holding her books and bumped into an attractive man who helps her collecting her books from the floor. Then they look at each other and fall in love. Subscribe, like and comment if you hate outros. Begging you to subscribe, like and comment.